You already know what it is. You are now tuning in to Damaged Goods. Hey, make sure you tap that follow. Oh, yeah. Make sure you subscribe, like, share. We're going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Damaged Goods, but you know I still got the value. Did it by myself, I made my name without you. Yeah, I got a game on lockdown, ayy. See me when I'm chilling at the top now, ayy. I'ma tell my story. I don't give a fuck, you can watch out. Mind over matter, I'm telling the truth. Been through the worst, I got nothing to lose. Talking to me, better watch what you say. I am the one who don't play with no games. Velocity, property of my own shame. Militant minded and sick in the brain. Truly right now, I don't need to explain. Maki on fire, now you know my name. Ayy, yo, ayy. Damaged goods, okay, wait, damaged goods, okay, wait, okay, damaged goods, but you know I still got the value. Did it by myself, I made my name without you. And I got a game on lockdown, see me chillin' at the fucking talk now, I'ma tell my story. I don't give a fuck, you can watch now. Damaged goods, but you know I still got the value. Did it by myself, I made my name without you, And I got a game on lockdown, ayy. See me when I'm chilling at the top now, ayy. I'ma tell my story. I don't give a fuck, you can watch now. Yeah, hey, hey, ayy, what, ayy, gang, yo, you already know what the fuck going on. Damaged goods, damaged goods with no motherfucking regrets.
What's going on, everybody?
You already know what it is. You are now tuning in to Damaged Goods. Hey, make sure you tap that follow. Oh, yeah. Make sure you subscribe, like, share. We're going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Damaged goods, but you know I still got the value. Did it by myself, I made my name without you. Yeah, I got a game on lockdown, ayy. See me when I'm chilling at the top now, ayy. I'ma tell my story. I don't give a fuck, you can watch out. Mind over matter, I'm telling the truth. Been through the worst, I got nothing to lose. Talking to me, better watch what you say. I am the one who don't play with no games. Velocity, property of my own shame. Militant minded and sick in the brain. Truly right now, I don't need to explain. Maki on fire, now you know my name. Ayy, yo, ayy. Damaged goods, okay, wait, damaged goods, okay, wait, okay, damaged goods, but you know I still got the value. Did it by myself, I made my name without you. And I got a game on lockdown, see me chillin' at the fucking talk now, I'ma tell my story. I don't give a fuck, you can watch now. Damaged goods, but you know I still got the value. Did it by myself, I made my name without you, And I got a game on lockdown, ayy. See me when I'm chilling at the top now, ayy. I'ma tell my story. I don't give a fuck, you can watch now. Yeah, hey, ayy, what, ayy, gang, yo, you already know what the fuck going on. Damaged goods, damaged goods with no motherfucking regrets.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I am literally getting ready to get my guest up here. Give me 1 second, please. I hope everyone is doing amazing because it is kind of a dreary day. Oh, okay, she's in there. All right, never mind. It's I don't know if you can hear that thunder. It's so exciting and fun, I'll tell you. All right, here, I'm dropping in here then, sweetheart. Whenever you're ready. All right, so let's see. We have Tashanka. He's in the house. How are you today? Hopefully you're having an amazing day. Miss Joanne, hello. How are you? I'm going backwards, everybody. I have Kathy. How are you today? Hopefully you're doing amazing. It's been a crappy day. I'm not even going to lie. A crappy day for me, but every day is kind of crappy lately. Miss Erin, hi, sweetheart. How are you? I have not been on in a couple of days, so I have missed you guys so much. I really have. You have no idea. I've been trying to, and every time I turn around, something else happens. I'm not even going to get into it tonight. But my beautiful guest is behind the scenes. So, Miss Joanne, I love you. All right, let's add her to the panel, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, look at how gorgeous you look. I got out of pajamas, so that's good.
I decided usually I'm in the dark. Usually I'm in the dark.
It's Tootsie, Puggy, and a fireplace. That's what you are.
Yes.
You look amazing. Wonderful.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. Hey. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for coming on. I know we've been talking about this for quite a while, and it's been taking us a little time to get here, but here we are. So, everyone, my guest today is the one and only Miss Dolly Bear, and we are going to talk about some not so good stuff, but it's because of the fact that we want to help everybody learn and understand what certain signs to really bad situations are and what can come of them. We want to help everybody understand and learn that they have a safe place here and that we support you guys very, very much so. And, you know, we have so many different people and so many different stories that there's something that everybody can relate to for the most part, I think. Wouldn't you say, Miss Dolly? So
this is one of the hardest things I think anyone does is tell something that's so. Am I echoing? Because I feel like it's screeching.
No, how do y'all hear it? Is it all right over there? Everything always sounds fine to me, and then you guys tell me there's thumps and bumps in the night, so I have no idea what it's like for them.
Okay.
It is a hard situation.
It is. I don't even know where to start, but I know this is the reason I wanted to say I'm in the light. Everybody who watches my lives know I'm usually in the dark. Mm-hmm. But I figured if I was going to step up and I was going to say something and I was going to relive something that could have destroyed me, I'm still here and I'm in the light.
It's because you are a survivor. You are very strong and you love everybody. And that's one thing that people have to understand is that you don't give up, you don't cave in, and you don't become an angry, horrible, nasty, bitter person. And some people do, and that's okay because we have our own ways of dealing with things. But the only way to move forward and past it, and it's very hard, and it takes a lot of just chances and trying to do it and falling down and running and hiding again, and it's just not okay. But when we get there and we're ready, we are. And you can turn your camera off at any time, and you know that. You do not have to have it on. I'm not like a camera Nazi. So
right. Well, I for a little bit I'll keep it on. I already have it. I'm hopefully I'm set up enough to like put it on the fireside.
Are you comfortable? You look like you're standing. So when I'm
sitting up. I have a pillow behind my back and a heating pad.
Oh my God. Okay.
I was like, you know why? You know why? Because my camera's weird. It's tilted.
No, absolutely not. It looks good. You're fine. You look like you're standing up. Actually, really perfect posture. So I didn't have.
I'm trying to keep everything aligned.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. I want to say one thing is
Okay.
the inspiring thing that you've done is that by us talking, we've discovered so many different kinds of abuse. I mean, look at all the research we looked up and like the links that we share that where people can get help. And abuse and trauma and neglect and hurt happens in so many different ways.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's inspiring that you're starting this program to go through all of these different ways that people need help and people need to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you very much.
Realize that there's a lot of us out there, and a lot of people don't realize that, and a lot of people are afraid to say something. A lot of people, hey everybody, I love you all. A lot of people want to hide in shame and fear and embarrassment, and there's 100,000 other things that I can say, but there's no reason to, because we all know what those things are, and we all know it's not right. It's completely not something that you should be feeling, because it's not your fault. And that's what the biggest thing is that we think it's our fault, but it's not.
Right.
So when everybody realizes that, that's when they're able to start to talk about it a little at a time to people. Sometimes it's a friend, sometimes it's a diary or a dog. Sometimes it's a friend's family, because we don't want to tell our own.
And sometimes it's our own family.
Sometimes it's just a friend. Sometimes it's not anything or anyone. It's just we cry and we tell ourselves and our pillows, and we tell God. And, you know,
it's hard to admit. Because along with it comes shame and embarrassment. And you replay things in your head and you say, I felt like I was a smart kid. So how did I not know? How did I not know that this was not normal? How did I not know that this was not okay?
Because we're going to get into it, and I know you want to do an interview style, and that's okay. It's a lot easier for a lot of people that way, and I'm okay with that. So thank you, Sally. The problem is that the wolves in sheep's clothing, it's the predators and the protectors, and it's not knowing the difference between the two, because the people that we're supposed to be able to love and trust the most are sometimes the people that hurt us the most. And
they're protector to predator.
And that's why it happens. And so it's honestly a horrible, horrible thing. But that's why we have to be here for each other, because if it's not for us and opening up and talking to people and letting them know it's okay to talk about it and it's okay to feel the way you feel, then some people might not ever know. Some people just sit and watch, and they don't talk, and they never chat, and they never do anything, but they listen and they relate to everything we're saying, regardless of what the situation is, because every situation is so similar. So just because it might be a situation dealing with family and not a stranger doesn't mean that there's not going to be similar things in the stories or moments in time that you remember flashbacks and stuff. So they come to us for that comfort.
And I do find that the more you talk about it, I think that if I were to like count how many times I've tried to tell the story, I remember something more almost each time. Because what I didn't realize was that from the start, there was a process, and all of it together led to a certain point. Like when you think back and you go, oh, but there was that. Oh, that's why. I can't explain it, but without saying everything. But you remember, you have a flashback of a time that you remember that was a good time, and you're like, oh, we went to, oh, you got picked up special, and you were taken to the lake, and no one else went. But it was, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, you were so special that day. But then now the adult mind goes, and now I know why. Now I know why it went that way.
Why? And why is it that when we don't want to go and we don't want to do something and we get pissed off because we just don't want to go and we're afraid and no one's listening to us and we act out, then we're brats and we're this or that, or we're angry, just uncooperative wives who people view us as just bitches, but we're so fucking tired of having to deal with it that we stop hiding it and we stop pretending that it's okay because it's not. And after a while, we don't give a fuck who knows. And that's the way it is. Even
and right now, that's exactly where I am in my life. I've already lost anyone. I've lost anyone and everyone I could possibly lose in my life. I have nothing to lose anymore, and only courage and strength to gain.
Right. Sorry, somebody just took me by surprise. Thank you. So there's a really big situation that we don't talk about, and that is what happens in the beginning. How is it that we always blame ourselves, right? How was I so stupid? I thought I was a smart kid is what you said. How did I not know any better? So where did it start with you? Because you did know better and you were smart, but there was somebody who made you feel and think differently, believe differently. So what were the moments leading, not the time that it happened, but what led up to that time?
Right. And actually, I've thought, I don't know if I shared it with you, but since sharing the story with you, I've thought more thoughts have come, such as a lake trip. Okay, I'm just going to tell. I don't know how to say it.
You can say whatever comes to your mind.
It's like the punchline of the whole thing is I all of a sudden had a eureka moment when I understood what the word grooming meant, or what the word grooming was. And it wasn't until all of these cases and talking with chat groups and other people that I realized that that I can honestly say I was groomed.
I remember when you told me this. You said, I'm going to tell you my secret.
Yeah.
And we just talked. I said, okay. And
you said, you don't have to. And I go, let me. I wanted you to know I was a real person, not just some face on YouTube who's going to be trolling everybody and going here and going there. And I just hope that people by now know that I'm a human being and I'm not out to get any creator whatsoever. I don't care what anybody does. I want prayer. I want uplifting. I want to help. I don't like, maybe I don't like what some certain creators do or what some creators don't do, but that I have a team mentality that I want everyone to be successful to the highest ability that they can be. And that's who I'm trying to be on YouTube with everyone is.
Yeah.
So, okay, where it started, I'm going to say, I had this memory and I don't know if I shared it with you.
Mm-hmm.
So it started, there's a year's difference apart. My family is split and not related. I have 3 older sisters that are some blood, some half blood, like the half blood prince. Okay, so some full, some half, and then I have my sisters that are from my dad. Okay, one of the sisters that were older, there's like a 12-year difference. So you got to look at it. When I was young, the memory I have, and I don't know. So how old? You'd have to do the math for me because I've never sat down and really figured this out. But she picked me up and she said, hey, okay, so she had a husband. Now, at the time, I don't know that it was her husband. They were just dating and they acted like they were married. Okay, so I don't know. I already feel like I'm getting tongue-tied. But let me just tell you where she took me. She said, so-and-so, he wants her to take me to this amazing place where there's this carousel. And it's a carousel restaurant. And, you know, not my other sisters, no one else, just me. And I get to go for this long ride and we get to go on this carousel and eat. And then you can ride the carousel, apparently. It's actually, and she's building it all up and she buys me this gift and it's this little bracelet with these hearts on it, and I loved it because I loved Rainbow Bright and I loved the way these hearts looked and I could keep them on my wrist. And she said, and then every time you wear it, you can think about this great trip and that he wanted you to go. So then we went on that trip. And then, you know, she would even say things to me like, oh, you know, you're so pretty, you know, you have such clear skin. And I'd be like, okay. I didn't know what, I mean, I think I was 9. I want to say 9 for the carousel or something like that. So if I was 9, she was maybe, what does that make her, 21? 20 years old, dating this guy?
More than old enough to know what the hell she was doing and what was right and what was wrong.
So then it turned to then the lake trip. And then it was, well, hey, we were just going to the lake, but we could use this cabin for a second and go change, and then go up into the bedroom next to this room, whatever. And I'm like, well, I was wearing my swimming suit. I have no underwear. So, and she's like, no, that's okay. It's no big deal. So you take the wet swimming suit off and you're not wearing underwear under my sundress. Well, then that's still 9 years old, but I was a little petite, skinny thing when I was younger.
Right.
Maybe before everything happened. So then, you know, no undies, and then he picks me up. And then there's my, you know, I'm picked up. I try to, you know, you try to keep your legs straight because you know you can't, you know, like you pick a kid up and they'll spread their legs around you. And I didn't want to. I kept them straight. And then I remember the prying of them. They had to be open because it's easier to carry. And I'm like, okay. And there's my sister going, yeah, it's easier. It's going to be easier to go down the hill so he doesn't drop you. So then it didn't hurt. The way I feel the emotions now is for the younger Dolly, the little Dolly. How she just didn't know. She's so naive, didn't know what someone else could be feeling. But the sad thing is I knew I felt uncomfortable. My body was telling me to feel uncomfortable and keep my legs straight. But I still heard her words that it was easier to not be dropped. Well, and I didn't want to fall, and I didn't want him to fall. So then there's a lot of times in get-togethers, I just don't remember, but I do remember, I mean, I don't remember incidents, but what I remember would be always seeking me out, or like whatever I was wearing, or I mean, I don't know if you guys all realize, okay, this is me coming out as me. I know usually on my lives I'm like this fidgety person, and I put my hair up in a big bun on the top of my head because I like my hair and my husband likes my hair, but I never liked the fact that everybody else as I was growing up liked my hair, and how easy it is for a man to just brush your hair off like it's nothing and just say your hair's so beautiful. I went through a phase where I cut it off in 7th grade. I had cut it into a bob. And then I'm yelling, aren't I? Am I yelling? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I feel like I'm yelling to you in the next room.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm jumping around now, but so I had cut my hair. This is me coming out to being the person that I want to be. Like, it's okay. I'm not saying I look pretty. What I'm saying, though, is I feel safer to wear my hair the way I want to wear my hair now. If that makes sense. And then the other part was when I was 11 or so, we'd spend nights over at this farm. It was this great time, and there was stock car racing that we could participate in. That, like, we could go watch the races, and he was going to be driving a car in the races, and I didn't think anything wrong. This is like jumping back a little bit, but I don't know the age, but you know, like there's an arcade like at some pizza places, but in order to get, okay, sorry, someone just pulled in the drive. In order to get these coins, you know, it's like you didn't see anything wrong with it. Okay, do you know the Christmas movie with Santa Claus is Coming to Town? And he's singing a song, and he's like, if you sit on my lap today, a kiss, a toy is the price you'll pay. I mean, I was young hearing that. Like, it was not a big deal, because if you sit on my lap today, a kiss, a toy, or is the price you're going to pay. It's so dumb. I know.
It's not
the kid
dumb.
mind. The kid mind is that it was not so bad. So then I'd get a kiss and I'd get a coin. Every kiss I'd get a coin. I didn't mind kissing, a kiss on the cheek. But now looking back and knowing when you put all the pieces together, the picking up here and the touching there, but I never put it all together. Then by the time I was older, I think I was 11, because that's the age I just remember. So I'm thinking about her being in the bathroom. I took a shower there, and I don't know what it was, but like I was in the sun all day, and I had like a spot under my breast, and I went to my sister and I said, "What is this?" And it was like a brown spot, not a lump, not a bite, I didn't even know. And she goes, "Oh, well, why don't you come? You should show him, because he's a scientist. Did you know that he was a science teacher?" "It's like a doctor," she said. "I mean, science, you know." And I go, "Okay." So I thought I was just going to go, like, I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing, but like just to show a little bit, cover. No, and that's not what happened, because she's like, "It's okay." She even held on to my arm and was like, "It's okay." And he just opened my shirt and he looked at it, and then he had to feel it. Is this too detailed? Because it's just the truth. Does this hurt when I do this? Does this hurt when I do this? Does that hurt? And I'm going, no. And he goes, "I think it's just a sunspot." Well, you could have probably just looked at it and said it was a sunspot. I felt really awkward, but then I thought, well, maybe he was just really trying to see if I was hurting. And then it's, well, let's get ready, because we're all going to go run to Zare, some kind of store. Yep, because you know why? When you hurt somebody, when you abuse them and you don't want them to tell and you need to make it nice, you take them shopping.
They buy your love and your trust and your silence. If you're a good girl and you don't say anything, I'll buy you something else next time.
Yeah. So then my sister took me to Zare. It's just like, you wonder, you gotta wonder though. Like, there's a punchline to the whole end of it though. Punchline. I keep calling it punchline, like it's a joke. It's a fucking joke, because I don't know how it all happened. And you go, whose life was that? Because I never would have allowed anything like that to happen, or encourage anyone to do that to any of the kids in my life. So anyways, then you're staying there all summer, and you're helping, and you're cleaning, and you're working in the shop, you're working in the barn, and you kind of feel like everything's, because you just liked having fun, you like not just sitting around your house doing chores, but it's like when you're doing chores at someone else's house, it feels fun, because you're like feeding the cows, or you're jumping off the hay bales real high and swinging on a rope, and you don't have that at home, so you're having fun, so you'd rather stay there. And then other kids are coming there too. Now it's starting to sound like Michael Jackson's like Fairyland or whatever he's got. But no, other kids would come, so you'd get to hang out with a bunch of kids and climb the trees and whatever. And yes, at 11, I mean, I know that kids at 11 and 12 and 13 nowadays are completely different than when I was a kid, because I was still swinging on tire swings.
Yeah.
but then taking showers always happened to come in there. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And there's only the one bathroom. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Well, you have the curtain closed, so keep the curtain closed. And she'd say, well, just keep the curtain closed. And then she'd say, oh, but if you leave it open a little bit here towards the window, the steam will go out the window. I can't even show you, but if I were to show you, here's the toilet, here's the window, here's the shower. So if I leave this part open by the toilet, the steam would go out the window.
Right.
Well, if he's using the toilet, he's sitting there by the open part. But see, it was the steam. And, you know, you wouldn't want to get in trouble for the steam getting stuck up and then the whatever steam thing going off in the house. And then I got out. Every time it was my skin. It's so funny because he always was like, oh, your skin is so soft. Your skin is so nice. It's not like her skin, which is like chicken skin. And she always said that to me too. You know what's so crazy? I was told so many times what beautiful skin I had that I now have lupus. And I wonder if part of me knew, like, I think of the weirdest things. Lupus affects your skin. It's my own immune system attacking my skin. And it's like maybe these people put it in my head and I manifested this fucking disease because my skin is not pretty anymore. I have lupus spots. Oh my gosh, and I'm so embarrassed. I'm like looking at my teeth. I chipped my tooth.
Don't worry about your tooth.
No, I did. I just got to tell everybody because I keep opening my mouth and I didn't want to open my mouth. These are really big, hard ceramic cups. And at the same time I was doing a live, I took a sip of it, or I was reaching into quick sip, and I met the cup at the same freaking time. And then I started choking in a live. I think there's a live. You can find it. And I'm choking and choking. And yeah, because I think I swallowed the part of the tooth. So anyway, yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You don't have to explain anything.
So that was the skin thing. But then it stops. And then you guys got to understand, I wanted love. I was the youngest. I was the youngest of all not only the older ones, but see, my younger ones, my sisters didn't like me. But maybe they didn't like me because what if I was getting picked up too much? I got to go to the lake. I got to go to the special rest. So they didn't really like me. And whenever my sister was hanging out with her friends and I couldn't go, it was always like, go away, go away. You know, I was annoying. And all I wanted was a sister to like love me. And I always imagined my whole life that it would be me and all my sisters together. Now these tears, though, are because I'm not together with any of them except one daily. But I always thought that it was like all of us together. Okay, if there's not 5 of us, but I have 5 older sisters. And all of us together, what do we create? We could get it against anything. And that's not the case that it was. So I craved the love of my sisters. I had low self-esteem. I slowly, gradually had cut my hair. I ate my life away. I enjoyed alcohol by the time I was 18. And, you know, I couldn't get it. So who was getting it? It was her. It was him. So
they watched you self-destruct and they helped you do it.
And then she came to me and she cried because she had fell in love with some other guy and she wanted to be with him so badly. And she's crying to me and I wanted to be the hero. But I had boyfriends. I had relations. I was not like a prude. I say prude. I don't even mean that word, but I didn't protect myself or save myself. I had relationships with people. So by the time she came to me, I believe I was, I really don't want to lie, but for some reason I keep thinking I was 19 or 20 because I don't think I could buy the alcohol. My first apartment, it was my first apartment and it was by myself, and she just had come over and she was crying and she just needed me, and she's like, I never had someone need me so badly. I wanted to be loyal to that. I wanted to be loyal and help her because she was broken. And I'm like, I know what it's like to be broken. I slept with so-and-so and so-and-so because I'm broken. But now I know I was broken because of who I'm about to help. She says, I can't be, because they were married at this time, I can't have her try a relationship with so-and-so unless I can get you to be with my husband.
Right.
And I go, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. I'm like, that's like prostitution. I'm like, what a slut. I go, if I say yes, you're going to think I want him. If I say no, I'm letting you down. And she's like, well, please, I'll never ask for anything. Like it was nothing. And I was scared, but I thought that maybe it would be the unbreakable bond. Like, I will never lose this. I will never, ever lose this sister if I do this huge thing. If I do this huge thing for her, she'll always have my back. I mean, I'll have her forever, right? Because I already lost. There's so much to my life, but I had already had a situation where another sister's boyfriend, when she ran to the store, tried to kiss me, and I was only 16. And I was still a virgin. And I was so scared. She gets back, and I told her. And she said, I'm lying. He goes, you lying little bitch. I mean, get it, this kind of stuff. So I had lost her. I had already lost a sister because she wanted to blame me. I tried to kill myself. Or unalive, I'm sorry. I just wrecked your stream.
No, you don't have to say unalived in my stream.
So I did because she didn't believe me. And that was before this thing. Because I didn't want to lose any family. I can't stand losing family. And I don't know why that is, because whatever. Anyway, so it's like thundering or something. Okay, so point being,
so when you
I said I did it.
When did you start to realize that you were depressed?
When did I what?
Start to notice that you were depressed, that you were dealing with depression. Did you notice right away that you were self-destructing because of your depression, or did you
No.
long time afterwards?
I just thought I was like everybody else. Like when I look back, I mean, all these sisters were depressed. I think we all had this ability to have this depression.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you, I was so mean sometimes because I didn't believe it. I said, there is no such thing as depression. There is no such thing. I'm depressed because bad things happen. It's not depression. Don't label me with your depression label. I mean, and this is even up to 2 years ago. And my sisters would claim depression and whatever. And I'm like, go outside. Let's go play badminton. Let's exercise together. But see, all of my whole family ended up like self-destructing and to a certain degree. And I don't really know why. But it maybe, well, and then I ruined it more because when I tried to do what I did, I knew I didn't want to. So I ran up to my mama and I go, Mom, I made a mistake. And she goes, what? And I go, I just took a whole bottle of Actifed. And it was about 100 tablets. And she goes, we got to go tell Dad and we got to get you to the hospital. And I go, well, I tried to make myself throw up, but I can't.
Right.
And then get it. So I had already broken my parents' heart doing that. And I don't know that we ever really got to the bottom of it. So part of me, see, I'm telling you now my whole life story. Shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's how I ended up dedicated to Mom and Dad because I wanted family to stay together. And if I didn't have my sisters, if I didn't have anybody, I had no aunts and uncles, nothing. I dedicated to take care of Mom and Dad. They had my back and they loved me.
And nobody helped you, though, did they?
What?
No one helped you with your family, did they?
No. And then, so then anyways, the end of the abuse thing about the grooming, let's just get that. I'm sorry. I digress.
No, you're okay.
Everybody have a break. Everybody have a break. Have some coffee. Don't chip any teeth. Take a drag. Okay. I didn't know what grooming was. I did not know, but now I know. All those places, all the kindness, all the this, all the taking here, the touching of the skin first, then an exam of the breast, then the touching of the skin again. All of that being okay groomed me to the point where he now, in his mind, he was grooming me the whole time, and then I did it. You guys, I'm a slut whore, whatever. I wanted my sister to love me. And she said it was the only way she was going to be happy, and she was bawling. So they brought drinks over. She said, here, take this. It'll help you relax a little bit. I don't know what it was. I popped it. I drank. And then I remember him being on top of me. And the one thought that like stays in my mind is that I felt nothing. I don't even know where I was, but I was not there. And I could hear them talking about me. She was there. She was there. And she started touching me because maybe, I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was not cooperating. And she starts touching my arm and like tickling my arm. And you know what's so funny is I used to love being soothed and tickled by my mom, you know, on my arm. To put me to sleep. And now I hate it. But, yeah. So I did it. I don't know when they left. I don't know how they left. I think they left. They locked the handle on the door. And then next thing I know, she's all fine. She's all happy. She picks me up to go. And I acted fine too, because I thought, man, we are close now. She picks me up the one time. She takes me to the guy she wants to sleep with. And I meet him, whatever. They got like a 6-pack of beer. I have a beer. They disappear to the bedroom. I don't know why she brought me along for this. I don't know why, except to like show, maybe it was her own guilt. She wanted to show me that what I did allowed her to be able to do that. She wasn't lying. I don't know. But as soon as I was waiting and waiting, and I felt so sick to my stomach. And then she stopped talking to me. She stopped talking to me, and then dude ended up in jail for some other shit. They had a kid together. But now that I knew what grooming was, I know I just called myself a slut or a whore or whatever. But I know that there is a grooming process, and maybe I was vulnerable and needy and wanted something so badly. I wanted to have someone like a best friend so badly that I thought God would never be able to forgive me. But I know that he does. What I just don't like is that I still tried to be nice to her. I still tried to be kind throughout my life. And my phone does not ring from her. And you would think that if I could forgive and let go, and I haven't, I'm just very sad that I don't have the relationship, I think. I don't know. I think I still crave the relationship.
Why do you think that you want to be close with somebody like that?
I think I did. I'm sorry. I should have said did. I still wanted but now since meeting you, talking to you, sorry, up until 2 years ago, I wanted, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel more fulfilled. All these people have come and gone out of our lives. We tried to help people so badly, so much to provide. And they all did. And I know that there's a saying that if the common denominator is you, the problem is you. But I just think that maybe I've come to the conclusion, I don't know, you've all known me for about 2 years now. Or a year, whatever it's been.
It's been a long time.
I think that they're fucked up. I think they're fucked up in the head too. And somehow I don't know. Now I'm babbling. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe they're just as messed up. And that the problem is them, and they're messed up, and they're not willing to talk about it. My whole point of view is there is cause and there is effect. I'm going to act this way because this happened. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to act this way just out of the blue. Something made me act this way. Something made me angry. Something made me sad. Cause and effect on everything. So, I don't know.
Did you, by doing the things that were asked of you, did you feel like it was going to help you be closer and have a tighter bond, relationship, love with your sister? Yes. And
I thought that because I thought it would be unbreakable. My ride or die. Finally, I'll have my ride or die.
Because you were doing what she needed, and it was what she told you and allowed you to believe that she needed.
Yes.
And wanted did. So you made her so happy. And
Right.
that made you happy because all you wanted to do was have this bond and have a sister.
Right.
And at
And I've
any
been
point,
yelling the whole time. I feel like I'm in a box.
no, you're fine.
I'm so sorry. Did I yell the whole time?
No, you're fine. At any
Jeez.
point, did she show any kind of sincere feelings, remorse,
No.
love, friendship, kindness, anything
I
other
think,
than this? And it makes me happy.
I think she tried to do things along the way that she thought was making up for it. But maybe what I really just needed to hear from her was the truth. And what I ended up finding out, the reason I can forgive her, but I don't have anything to do with her. Me and the Hubs, we have nothing to do with her. Nothing. Because we're done being hurt and used by people.
Good.
And he knows the story. Man, does he know the story.
It's important. How long did it take before you were comfortable sharing this with him? We're not, it's up to you whether or not you want to say his name. I'm not going to unless you do. However, your husband and you were together for just a guess. How long do you think it took before
It took me a while to admit it, to tell him. Because I didn't want him to hate her. Like if there was any gathering, I didn't want him to hate.
You were still protecting her all that time.
Yeah. And then I didn't tell any other sisters. Then I told my sister, my real sister. And that's a tumultuous relationship too, but not anything weird. Except I told her the story. She ended up finding the guy. Okay. The sister who was with the guy befriended the guy on Facebook, which then had two other sisters befriend him on Facebook. So, on Facebook, what does it do? It ends up telling you, hey, so-and-so just became friends with so-and-so. Maybe you should get it. It like offers you that person. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. A friend suggestion type thing.
That's exactly what it does. It shows you suggestions, and then it shows you who
And
your
that
mutual
triggered me. And that's what triggered me. And it triggered me right before we moved here. And Hubs already knew the story, but we buried it. It was not a hurtful thing. It's a hurtful thing when you talk about it. They say you're not healed from something that happens to you until you stop crying about it. And I'm never going to stop crying because I'm damaged goods. No, because I know that I'm bent but not broken, and I'm putting those pieces together now. So when they became friends with him, it broke my heart because they knew I had opened up to them, whatever, to say, you guys might think I'm effed up and I'm sorry, and it's maybe because of this. And I wanted them to know who I was. I thought maybe we were like sharing and bonding. I've never seen people do this before in my life. So after everything we've been through, whatever. So this is just, I've been here, 2 years here? So 3 years ago, this happened. They befriended on Facebook, and I sent a message that said, what the fuck? And the picture of the person, like the friending of them. And the response I got from the wife was, well, or I go, what the fuck is this? And she goes, It's forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
So she forgives him. Okay. So I don't even know. She's just so fucked up in the head. So then the other sister, who I thought had my back on it, like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to you. When I said, what the fuck? She says, everybody deserves a second chance.
What about your second chance?
Well, here's the thing. She said, I just happened to become friends because he's friends with her. And I thought it was okay and everything was fine. For, you know, like everybody's moved on.
Good girl.
And she said he offered her some potting soil
Potting soil.
to start a garden. And I said, I didn't know that I was negotiable. I didn't know that what I went through, you could throw away over a garden. I didn't want anything to do with her because it was, you couldn't be even loyal to me because you were getting something free.
Right. How many people did you talk to? I don't know, just in general. How many people did you try to talk to in your family to try to tell, hopefully they would offer you help or guidance or comfort, just love, anything, support?
Well, at this date in time?
No, in the beginning, did you tell anyone, or how long did it take? Did you tell people? How many people did you tell? How many people believed you? Sorry, it's a lot of questions, but
the one with the boyfriend that kissed me,
keep talking.
that
Right
I
back.
probably did. What?
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Robert.
Did she say I'm supposed to keep talking? Hi, Puck. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I feel a little insane, but I do feel, I'm going to tell you all, I feel different. Like I feel lighter for some reason.
Sorry. Okay, I'm back.
I just was telling everyone, I feel psychotic, but I feel a little lighter for some reason. Like I feel kind of good for some reason. For some reason. Anyways, Nolan, I didn't
You have
tell.
to make yourself uncomfortable in order to make yourself feel comfortable. And you know that you're not helping just yourself, you're helping others. And that's a huge reason why we're doing this, because we talked about this before. I wanted to do this about 2 years ago, 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and I talked to you, and I talked to Mama Bear, and I talked to a couple other people, and the group of us that I still have a bond with and a relationship with. We decided to work together without working together, because we don't actually work together as a huge group, but we work separately. And we all knew at the beginning that it was going to be something that was going to be hard. And
but I don't want to embarrass myself either by being my ears are so plugged now from crying and stuff that I don't know how loud I was getting. I'm so embarrassed. See, you know what? That's another thing. I was constantly told as a kid to shut up or keep it down because I'm so loud, and like I'll talk with my hands and I'm loud. So that's my other embarrassment all the time. Okay,
so what? You're allowed to be loud. And I'm not going to tell you that you're being too loud, and you're not. And if you are, who cares?
I want you to, because I need to. I don't want.
You're allowed to yell, and you're allowed to cry, and you're allowed to say whatever the fuck you want, because fuck them. This is your life, and this is your story, and I'm not going to tell you how to tell it.
So I guess the bottom line, that was it. That really is just is the gist of it. I mean, there's more of things that bring you. Sorry, I know the camera wiggled. I have you on a box.
No, you are so you're fine. Stop apologizing. That's what we do, and that's something that we all have to remember, including myself, is that we over apologize for everything. I can say I'm sorry and be told to stop saying I'm sorry, and then I'll say I'm sorry for saying I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I know. Me
It's
too.
gonna end, and it's something that we have to remember. We don't have an awful lot to be fucking sorry about. I'm sorry. I can be the biggest
I'm
asshole.
sorry. I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry about it, because if you're making me be an asshole, then you fucking deserve it. And that's how I feel now. You get what you give.
But see, so that's my thing. That's what YouTube is teaching me this great lesson. Like, I don't know if anybody out there, I don't even know if there's anybody even in the chat anymore at this point.
We have people, and they are all very, very supportive of you.
I can't see anything at all. I haven't been able to see anything in there. So if anyone's talking to me, I'm sorry, but
You're okay.
I can't.
You're not looking at the chat on your phone.
But I do want to say, did anybody in the chat, like, just think about it for a second. Did you think that I would have a story like this knowing me? Did I show it?
Yes.
I showed that by you like, even just being a normal, trying to have a conversation, did you know that I had something inside me?
Yes.
That
I did.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How?
I'm sure you probably knew I did as well without even knowing my story, but I've never hidden my stories.
It's because I think it's because how we feel for others. We know that everyone's got a story. Everyone's got a battle. I always say everyone's fighting their own battle, just different demons. And
same movie, different actors.
What?
Same movie, different actors.
Yeah. But how we come out of it, you guys ready? I'm gonna be 50 in December. I never thought I'd make it to 25. And I didn't know why. It wasn't going to be at my own hand. I'm just saying. I just thought I didn't. I never thought beyond where I am. And there's so many things I wanted to do. So many things I have so many fears that I've built up inside me that I never fully lived to the potential that, I don't know if anyone, okay, I played that Adele song. Did anybody listen to the Adele song?
I did.
I really wish we could play it, but you can't because of copyrights. But please, everybody, if you want to know how I feel or who I am, it's the Adele song, and it's something like million times, I think, or something. And it's because we all have regrets. You're saying you don't have any regrets. I do have regrets, but am I going to keep holding myself under the fire for those regrets? No, I need to let them go. And now knowing that there is this thing that's called grooming, and that it wasn't necessarily me, it was what was okay and what was appropriate was being taught to me. But I will also say this. I have never, ever, you know how people go, oh, well, this poor person, they were abused, so that's why they abuse. Bullshit. That's just not true. No, abused people don't always abuse.
It's not the way it goes. And
no, it's not. And that's a common misconception about people, and that's not fair.
A damaged person treats people in a way to damage them, and that's not the truth.
No, I think we lift one another, and we try to see each other for. Like when I look at you, I want to see Noel.
I want to dig more.
What? Sorry, dig more.
Person ends up staying damaged because we allow others to continue to damage us, because we just want to do what we can for people. I don't want anyone to feel the hurt that I felt, so I help everyone. And then
Right.
everyone turns around and thinks that I'm the weakest fucking link and I'm the worst and last thing from it. Please come try and fucking play games with me, because I'm not the
For
one.
real.
Unfortunately, I will go to the end of the world and back for you, but I'll also stab you in the face if you fuck with me.
Right.
That's what happens to
Right.
people like
My
You
loyalty is so different than other people's. There is no loyalty from so many people in my life. They've all proven. My hub's brothers, you know, whatnot. They've all. There's been so many proven unloyal, because if you're mad at one individual, don't you want to find out, like, or if you're mad at someone because you think they're mad at you or they're thinking something, I'd rather go, what are you thinking about? Because I want us tight. I want to know, what are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? How can we fix this? Everybody's so disposable.
How am I supposed to know what I did wrong if you don't tell me? If I can't fix it, if you don't tell me what it is that I need to fix, what did I do?
And I don't want to be disposable anymore. I just don't. I can't. I can't be disposable. That's where the purpose comes in. What do I want to do? You know what I just want to do? I don't even care if I ever make money on YouTube. I don't need a channel. I just like having friends. I like talking. A really good friend of mine said, you know what? I love you so much, but you need to not cry on your live. Because I noticed I just kept crying. Because I'm mourning so many different things, and each season changes, and then I cry a little bit more because of that. And when you're alone and I don't have friends anymore, there's no high school buddy. I tried to find a group of people who I could hear talk, and I heard truth come from them, like you.
On YouTube?
Like many in the chat. And I thought, this is okay. And you know, the sad thing is YouTube isn't the safest place. But you know what? I've been through so much that there's nothing that can hurt me anymore. 50 years old, no kids, no nieces around, no nephews around. They're far away, you know, or through a phone if an emergency. And I got my hubs, and he knows every inch of every single thought that I've ever had. Every inch of thought, like it's words. And there's nothing. My mom and dad are gone. My grandma and grandpa are gone. I don't break the law. I smoke too much. I eat too much. I have lupus. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have psoriasis. And I am just a human being wanting to make a connection with others who maybe could need to talk to. Maybe they're lonely. Maybe they want a friend. Because sometimes being alone and in the quiet is okay for most of the time. But sometimes you need to talk out and you need to reach out. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know what I mean. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know? You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a babbler now. Maybe I shouldn't have taken my anti-anxiety pill before this.
You took something for anxiety? You should have doubled up, darling.
I know, girl. For real. I know I do. I mean, my doctor, I am on anti-anxiety meds because every day I have nightmares of finding my mom dead, because I took care of her until she died in my home, our home. So I have nightmares every night right before I fall asleep, like right in that twilight where you jump. There she is, and it's something, and then I'm like, Mom, or she's falling and I'm falling, and so I do have some issues, but it's because I've spent 20 years taking care of Mom and Dad that they're so ingrained in my head that it's hard to let them go. But I will soon, eventually. But I don't know that I'll let go all the way. I want to get to the point where I can just have the memory and the memory be enough.
Do you feel that you've come far in your journey of healing? Finding closure?
Yeah. Yes, I have. I would never have talked about this. Are you kidding? I'm on YouTube. I never, ever would have done this. Not in a million. There are so many people out there who helped me heal along the way. And I'm telling you, I have to say how it helped and who helped. There are people who have stories out there who did YouTubes, and I don't care what people say, Miss Jody Sue Brown and her group of people in the Southern Driveway, that's what we called it, shared story after story, experiences. I never shared my full stories. I never had enough guts.
They shared similar stories?
Yes, there's so many people. Everyone, because everyone, that's what got me on the, oh my gosh, I'm such an ugly crier. I should turn that off. Oh, why didn't I do that a long time ago?
Oh. So how did you find, okay, you said that you did find,
I found so many people.
There, Jody Sue. Did they see? I don't frequent or go there ever.
No, I'm just saying.
But how are they trying to help and make a difference? Because it's important.
Because everybody has an encouraging word. How are you doing today?
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay? How's your, like it's so funny because I had a bad tooth back then. And they're like, how's your tooth? Oh, no. And I'm like, I miss my mom. Did you get it? I was going through
concern, kindness. They were interested.
I was going through a loss. I was going through the loss of my mom, and they had lost a mom. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I just lost my mom, or I just lost my whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And you can feel that on such a level. Because if you haven't lost a mom or dad yet, I'm telling you, it rips you. But I don't know what it's like to be a mom who loses their daughter or son. I can only imagine. I can only imagine what that feels like. And it must be so painful because if I'm, you know what I mean? You gave birth to. So get it, you can see each other on such a human level of where you have little tears in your memory and in your mind, and what ends up happening is by talking with these women, with you, by talking with you and watching you. And when you interviewed, I don't want to call her out, but your other interviews with people with PTSD, depression, and, DV, every time you stitched me back together, you were stitching up all these scars. So I don't know that the crying is all about mourning. It's not. It's about I'm bearing something. I'm vomiting it out. Do you get it? Maybe I don't know. I can't tell you how I feel right now, except that I'm feeling lighter the more we're talking. I don't know if you can even tell that it is.
You're much more comfortable. You're more yourself.
Because it's almost like you empty out the dark and the sour, the poison.
Mm-hmm.
And I've filled it every time I've talked with a friend, whether it be till like 4 a.m. about photos. I don't know. Sometimes it just
shadows in the middle of the night, shall we?
Right. You never know, I mean, what can make you feel whole or feel good as a person or a human being? It's so much as like, making pickles. I make pickles so then I bring it to a neighbor. Every time you're doing something good, you're actually filling up, you're emptying the dark and filling it with the good. So the more that we're all hanging out and the more I get to see you beautiful people, I'm getting filled with good. I can't, do you get it? Like, I felt like such a dirty, gross, disgusting, dark individual in like half of me. And then the more I can hear other people's stories and we share, and then there's kindness and there's compassion, and you feel like, oh, I don't deserve it. And they go, no, you do. Do you get it? You do deserve. You didn't deserve what happened to you, and you're gonna be okay. I mean, think of how many times we've said that in your last videos. I think it was Mama, right? Was Mama there?
We talked with Mama Bear, yep.
Inspiring to be different, to be, you know, there's so many women in there who don't share their details of their life, but they actually empower you to be stronger. You're one of them. And I know that there's other names out there. I know I said Miss Jody Sue, but that was really important to me because I was never going to make a channel until I left Miss Jody Sue. I don't think she liked me anymore, but that's okay. because I'm annoying. But I owe her that for bringing that topic out for women to feel comfortable and talk about it. I feel indebted. I'm indebted to you. You know what? Miss Tiffany Marie has talked about it. AB has talked about it. I mean, as much as the people do the opposite, there was a moment where everybody's on the same page to actually empower people against DV. If you listen to every video and whatnot, everybody's got some. Everybody has something that they're offering and they bring to the table. And now I got Miss Sella. Wait, is that her too?
Selah.
Yes.
Selah.
Selah V.
Selah. Yep.
Beautiful. Praying. I mean, I like my groups. Everybody's so different. And I'm so honored to have known White Boy. And when he was standing up for those who can't speak up for themselves, it was inspiring to me. And then I guess the last step for me was to have this exorcist moment with you. You know what I mean?
I understand.
You know, I tried to take my face off this camera and I couldn't figure it out. You guys, I probably look so horrible.
Oh, you do not. I have cried more times on my channel than probably anybody else in the history of YouTube. And I don't care. I'm an emotional person. I cry when I cry when I'm sad. I don't
cry when
care.
I'm happy. I do. I cry when I'm happy. It's so weird.
I do too. I cry over stupid things that no one in the world would probably be like, yep, I would cry over that too. But I do. Okay, so we have a question.
Okay.
I did ask if anybody had respectful questions for you. And so we have, has Dolly come to a place in her life where she's learned to love herself, to know none of this was her fault in any way, and to let go of the toxic people who were causing her this pain?
Yes. You know what? Yes to the last part about getting rid of the people. But do you know what? See, this sounds so weird, but I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't know. I think, do I love myself? No. I'm not there because I'm so disappointed in myself still, because this sounds so self-righteous. I mean it not like that. I can't explain to you, but by taking care of mom and dad, you guys. I had no insurance. I just took care of mom and dad. And I didn't take care of myself at all. I didn't, you know, if I had a bad tooth, I didn't pay for the root canal for $600. I had my tooth pulled. And I'm embarrassed about everything about me. I stayed with them day in and day out. It's my own decision. I'm not mad at that, you guys. I'm mad that I let myself still destroy myself. I could have stayed healthy. I could have. But I think I was still full of sour. Do you get it? I was still carrying the baggage of all of those bad things that happened to me that I just kept piling it on. Does that make sense? I don't even know, but
are you afraid to let go of that guilt because you're afraid that you'll start to be happy with yourself? You'll accept the fact that it wasn't your fault and that you'll be able to move forward and be just okay. You'll be okay. You've held on to that for so long. That's all you know. So who are you going to be if you let it go and you become a better, different, happier person?
I don't know, because I'm trying to be. There's this self-preservation mode that I went into. Well, when you say self-preservation, that's the word with that is selfish. And I do not, and I don't like being thought of being selfish because I had been called that before.
So
when I go into self, if I do things for me, just me, I mean, I get to do stuff for me though. Like my hubby, now life's different, but somehow I got in a hole of not doing stuff for me, but that time's over. I mean, it's literally just 5 years ago I was not doing anything for me. Now I'm doing stuff for me. I am going to the doctor. I am, getting therapy from, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's the Damaged Goods Psychiatric Helpline. And so I am getting...
If I'm the words of wisdom, you got worse problems than you thought.
Well, then I call the second number, and that's the Hitman Glass Helpline. I've been doing that.
We're gonna need some real major help here, ladies and gentlemen, before this live is over. We have the Hitman and Damaged Goods that are taking care of Miss Bear. Miss Dolly Bear, I love you, and I have for a very long time, and you know that. We became friends very quickly and easily.
Healing I think is going to take some time, don't you? I mean, I feel healed. I'm telling you, I do feel different. Ask me that same question a week from now. Maybe I'll feel real different, even more.
You will.
But right now, I got so much on my plate that I'm juggling because I'm just now letting everything out publicly and talking, that I want to make room for the new, not the new Dolly, but the new improved Dolly. How about that?
You need to learn who you are without holding the guilt in and without carrying the weight of disappointment and embarrassment. That's a huge step for you, and we'll have to work on that. And you might decide that you may not have said everything you wanted to, and you might want to come back on and talk again and share different points that you forgot. And that's okay, because you know what? The more you talk, whether it's privately or in public like this, the more it's going to help you. You don't have
and I want people to know, just because we carry our own baggage. I mean, I might have let some of it loose. It's rearranged now and stuff inside. we have room to be able to talk about it with other people and be there for them still. Even though we're going through it, sometimes I'd appreciate, like how we all can do that. Like, girlfriends, you share your thing, I share mine, and then we can then you don't feel so useless. You have a purpose of, being a good friend is a good purpose in life. Being a good neighbor is a good purpose in life. A good wife. And maybe that can be enough. I just maybe am not the perfect sister.
I think it's less that you're not a perfect anything in life because you don't think you're perfect or good at very much. And you have a lot of issues with confidence. And that's okay, because I do too. I'm not anywhere close to okay or perfect or fine or any of that. I'm just fucking me. I'm just me. And I'm fine with that. But you have to understand it's not that you aren't a good, perfect, or just a sister that somebody wanted. Maybe it's that you were too good for them. Maybe they didn't deserve to have you as a sister, and so they decided that they were going to try to destroy you a little at a time. It just so happens that one of them took the major hit on you, and the rest just treated you poorly afterwards.
You have no idea how many times my family came from out of town, from Florida and Texas. No, Texas. I just lied. From Florida and from Arizona. They came to town and didn't even tell me. Mm-hmm. They just swung by and picked my mom up while I watched my dad. They never thought I'd need to see any of the nephews, nieces, and everybody. They didn't even think about me. I was just that chick who took care of mom and dad.
Yeah, because if they traded places with you so that you can go enjoy your time with them, then they'd be missing out with, everybody else and what's going on.
Yeah.
So, Kelly, would you try something? Make some notes of affirmation that say, I am beautiful. I love myself. Put them on your mirrors and other places that you look often during the day. Is that something that you would be willing to try to do? Or do you think that you could write them down and actually believe them and mean them as you're writing them?
Well, Joanne's always just her, huh? Is that what it says?
Joanne is definitely Joanne.
Do you think I act different than who I am? Is that why we're saying it? Like, I'm just me too?
No, I said I was always just me and whatever else I said. And then Joanne said
I'm curious. Like, do you think I'm two different people? Do I act?
No, you're not. You're not at all.
And that would be like some kind of freaking weird split personality bullshit. Because I really try to be me.
You are just you. And that's what you're supposed to be, unapologetic.
I don't try. I'm just doing. I don't know. I'm also very defensive and self-conscious.
You're you on here and at home, on the phone, during a text. You are you. You're always you. You're never any different. You're happy and you are cheerful and you try to make people happy. You worry more about us, and I know that personally, because you worry more about me than you do yourself 99% of the time. While I am selfishly self-isolating myself and hiding from the world because it's just too much. And sometimes I just have to hide. You will just continuously reach out to me and then apologize and say, I don't want to upset you, but I'm just letting you know I'm still here for you. I'm sorry, I don't want to bother you, but I love you. And you're not supposed to apologize for being you. You're not supposed to apologize for caring. You're not supposed to apologize. You don't owe me an apology because I'm hiding from the world. That's not your place to feel like you have to be sorry for contacting me. You're allowed to. That's why you have my number. I just sometimes don't respond.
You're doing it your way.
don't hear, well, I don't, what I tell you, if I don't respond to a text, call me. Why?
Right.
Because I might not grab the phone if I hear the text message, but I'll grab it if I hear it ringing.
Right.
I just, it's just me. I just, sometimes it's just, that phone could be right there and I can reach it, but it's just too far for me to actually reach it. Sometimes it's just too heavy to hold. Sometimes there's too much going on that I'm going to have to owe somebody an explanation of some sort when they ask me, how am I doing? And I'm not going to lie, and I won't lie. And I don't feel like I need to make that person feel bad, because the last thing I want is people to feel bad. It's not your job to feel bad for me. You say, I'm going to share your Cash App because you need help and you're not going to ask. And I say, I don't want people to send me pity donations. I don't want people to feel bad and feel like I'm begging or I'm crying or I'm asking for something because I don't and I never have. I want people to be happy to be with me. And if I'm sad and miserable, how am I going to keep anybody happy? And I'm transparent.
But sometimes it's okay to be sad and miserable with that person. Did you ever see that? You can't fix it all the time, but sometimes there was this girl or something, I don't know. She's laying in the middle of the road in the rain. And the rain's pouring down on her. And it's just the example of her being sad and depressed. And the person comes by her who loves her, looks down at her, walks around her, and lays down right next to her. Sometimes we just need that person to lay down in the rain right next to us.
That's me. I do that for everyone, but I don't expect anybody to go out of their way to do it for me. And a lot of us are like that. So back to the inevitable and that we need an answer to. Are you willing to do such things, write little notes, love notes, or just
you know what? I would.
That you're amazing, but can you mean them when you write them? Doing it is one thing, but meaning it and believing it.
I don't know. I don't think that I'm beautiful. I don't think that I am pretty. I don't think that well, you know what? I think I'm kind of a fart smeller. I mean, a smart feller. That was a joke. That was my dad's joke. No, I don't. I mean, what I write on my mirror is usually a Bible quote or thank God or put God first. I'll write on the mirror sometimes when I feel like my faith is dwindling. I'll write, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I'll write it across the mirror. But living here, I haven't written anything. So since I've been here, 2 years, I haven't written anything on the mirror. But yeah, I used to, but not that I was beautiful, not that I was smart, not that I was talented. That's my thing is I don't have like this purpose per se. I've now settled in believing that my purpose is to just enjoy my life, take care of the puggy, love my husband, let him love me back, have good days, enjoy the time we have, decorate the way I like to, celebrate my holidays the way I want to. I planted my garden. I grew potatoes. I wanted to.
And we're so proud of those potatoes.
I am. I still have some, and they are still they're not rotten at all. There's something they do at the store that makes them rotten. I'm telling you. Serious. They're still good.
What made you decide to do this tonight? I know that we've talked about it back and forth for a while. What did you think? What was your hope? Did you have a goal in coming on and sharing this and exposing your vulnerability and your feelings and your weaknesses? Like, what did you expect to happen after doing this?
Because people need to be aware with their children, parents, you parents, all of you parents, because I'm not a parent, but I am an aunt, and my niece actually had some problems and whatever, but I had no way of protecting her or knowing. And I know that parents don't have a way of knowing either, but have a conversation about what is good and bad touching, what is acceptable behavior. You don't have to let an adult pick you up when you're not wearing undies. You don't have to. The minute it makes you feel uncomfortable, before you make any decision, stop and talk to a best friend. Tell your kids, you know what I mean? Talk to a best friend, talk to a counselor, or come talk to me. I mean, you know, you being the mom. Because if you're going to make a decision about, like, the decision I made for her, the time I finally said yes, maybe someone would have said no. You know that a sister who loves you wouldn't ask you to do that? She's not asking you to do it because she loves you. She's asking you to do it because she is trying to get something selfishly for her and him.
Right.
They're doing some kind of a trade, but you are too young to understand this trade. And if that's what they wanted to do as adults, they should have involved another adult, not someone young and dumb.
They didn't
Because
care that it hurt you because it benefited them.
Say it again.
They did not care that it hurt you because it was a
Right.
benefit to them. It benefited them.
Right. There was no, right. And that's what I ended up saying after I found out they were friends on Facebook, whatever. I screamed and I told her off, and I said, you traumatized, or you think I would want to see the face of something that is so disgusting, so grotesque, and terrorize me with it? And she goes, she wrote me, goes, I'm sorry, I never knew I terrorized you. And then I never talked to her. That was it. But she said, I'm sorry. And I'm going, you didn't know it was terrorizing?
So
But I told her after. I don't know. The thing that really bugs me is that I was tradable. Get it? You traded your loyalty to me for soil. That just pisses me off about that other sister. So I don't really want anything to do with her. However, I just recently, I told Tashanka about this actually, because we had just been talking about forgiveness, and I go, she just wrote me. He and I were just talking, and she just wrote me as if she had my house bugged. And she said, I'm sorry if I ever hurt you knowingly or unknowingly. And I said, oh, and it said something like, please forgive me. Please forgive me if it didn't say sorry. Please forgive me if I hurt you knowingly or unknowingly. And I said, I forgive you. And I said, and forgive me too. And I hope you'll forgive me too. And she says, I do. And I go, thumbs up. And then that's it.
why did she have to forgive you?
Why did she? Because
She needed to forgive you. What did you do? Nothing.
I did. No, there were things I've done in the past. I raised her child, her daughter, and helped put her through college. Like, I didn't pay for nothing. I let her stay and live with us so she could finish high school. And then I let her stay and live with us free rent while she went to go to college. And my sister wasn't in a position to provide anything. Like, she only had food stamps and she was waiting on disability. So she couldn't contribute. She couldn't buy prom dresses. She couldn't buy makeup, earrings, high heels, and my hubs decided that we would do that for her kids. Well, then she got mad at me and said I was rubbing in our money, and I go, rubbing it into you? I go, it has nothing to do with you. It's for your daughter.
So I was just going to ask you what part of everything you did for her was a reason for you to need to apologize, and the fact that she turned
because
around.
I called her a bad mom.
Bad.
I said to her face, "You're a bad mom." I go, and you're a bitch. I think I said.
You wouldn't have said that had she not turned around and been so unfucking grateful.
Right, and then we paid for her daughter's wedding.
All the way back to her
because she didn't have any money. And her daughter asked my husband to walk her down the aisle.
Money means nothing. You helped her. And you
didn't. That's all it was. We were just throwing it. We didn't care. We wanted her happy. Because we knew what a fucked up family we were.
She doesn't deserve you to even say, I hope you forgive me. She doesn't deserve you to say, I'm sorry. She doesn't deserve anything because you did everything you could. Not for her.
I wanted it on an even keel because the worst thing I think you could probably say to a mother, because like I said, I'm not a mother, is to go, you're a bad mother. I said, you're a bad fucking mother because you're not seeing it from your daughter's point of view. You're only taking it for that it hurts you, that you can't pay for it.
Right.
And when her daughter wanted to walk to Target or wanted to go somewhere, I'd walk with her. That's why, I was getting exercise and she was trying to get disability and she wouldn't walk anywhere. She wouldn't try to exercise. And I kept walking with her daughter and because we were trying to exercise and she wanted to stay thin to go to college. You know, she wanted to she knew that you put on the 10 pounds going to college or whatever they call it. So she wanted to stay in shape. And I thought, well, I'll walk with you. So we'd go get a Starbucks or whatever. We'd come home and we'd get dirty looks from my sister. And I couldn't fix it. There was always an animosity and a heaviness to it. Well, then she moved away and I took care of her daughter. Like I said, we got her to college. We'd pick her up for holidays. We'd bring her back home. And unfortunately, that daughter didn't go stay with her mom. She kept staying with us. And I every day said, you should go by your mom. It's Christmas break. Are you going to go by your mom? She's like, I don't want to go over there. It stinks. You know what I mean? I don't know. I tried. Did I push it? I really pushed it, but she wouldn't listen. So then I feel like I raised her daughter a little bit.
She chose you because you were the better mom. Because she could benefit more from you as a parental figure than she could from her own mother. That's why she chose you. Not anything else. Because you
the fact that you just said that, I think, and that touches me a lot because when she gave birth and her husband came to visit, the husband handed the baby to me and said, here you go, Grandma. And he knew I was not Grandma. And he did the same thing to my hubs. And he said, here, Grandpa. It was the sweetest thing, which means that my sister's daughter, my niece, told her husband how important we were to her. Do you get what I'm saying?
Of course.
Oh, sorry. God, I'm dead. Are we ending? Let's end this. I'm getting all verklempt. We got to stop this session. Any more questions?
More questions before she runs away.
I'm gonna tell you guys my whole life story if we stay on here for real. I got days.
I'll let you talk as long as you want, and you know that.
You're amazing. I'm glad. I feel so much better. I mean, that last thing just really touched me because they called me Grandma, and I was like, oh my God. But I never intended it. Let me tell you and make it crystal clear. They would never say it. We would never do it. We would never imply it in front of my sister because goals were never to hurt another human being like that. My goal is not to remove people's hearts from their chests.
But you didn't. These people have overused you and extended every kindness that you had to offer, and they took advantage, and that was it. And then they made you feel bad, and they pretty much made you feel so bad that you had to apologize because you thought you owed them an apology. What you really owed them was a kick in the teeth. They don't deserve that from you. They don't deserve an apology. They deserve you to sit there and say, I hope that at the end of the day, everything is okay and that I love you guys. And they're supposed to say thank you for everything that you did. We appreciate your help in our time of need and that we love you too.
That's what we thought would happen. You know what? Every time we did something good, it was, I don't want to be picky because then now I do sound like the bitch, but it was, thanks, guys. It was real, thanks, guys. It was like it was an aloof. It was never a holy shit.
Ever.
But you know what, though? We never, ever did it for the thank you. It doesn't even matter. I never needed the thank you from her, nor did I need it from my niece, because it wasn't my niece's fault that she couldn't afford a prom dress. I said, I do not want you missing your junior or senior prom. I did.
Right.
And so did your mom. And I go, it's not going to happen. You are beautiful. You love dancing. You love going out with your friends and you love dressing up. You're going.
So all you did was be yourself. Unfortunately, you have a very loving heart. And
I was encouraging her to do what I didn't have the courage to do in high school.
You wanted her to do everything and have everything that you didn't and couldn't.
Yeah.
So you have a motherly instinct. Big deal. So you know how to be a better mom than a lot of moms do. And you've never had the opportunity to be a mom, except for you did. And you were a mom to that child that you raised and helped take care of in her mother's time of need. So you did.
I was trying to help my sister as much as I was helping my nieces. Ugh.
And I still don't understand.
You know what? That's her own pride. Her own pride and disappointment in herself couldn't allow it to be a glorious moment for her daughter because I provided it. But I never meant it that way. I never meant for her to feel bad.
And you know what? She didn't feel bad. She was jealous. She was jealous and her pride was hurt because she was not capable of doing what you could. And that happens. Shit happens. We can't always keep our shit together. If everybody knew everything I was going through like you do, they'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah, shit happens. I had everything that I thought I needed and wanted and I was happy with, and my life for me was perfect. And then out of the blue, it all just slowly just fluttered away. And that's okay. I'm still here. I'm going to live. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take a long time to get back to where we were, but I'm still here. I'm not going to be upset and I'm not going to be envious or any of that spiteful. And fuck that. If anything, as I owe you a thank you for even trying to help me for hours figure out what the fuck I was dealing with last night. You didn't have to do that, but you did.
That's because I love you and I don't ever want you to feel alone. No one should ever feel alone, ever.
No one has to feel alone because everybody, they don't have to, not here. No. That's what we are. That is why I've never called you guys subscribers or any of that. Generic words. I find them to be generic. You guys have always been my family, and I've told you that from the first freaking time that we all started to get to know each other. Why are you my family? Because out of everywhere in the world you could be right now, you're choosing to be here hanging out with me. That means a lot. You guys have done that for years. You don't have to be, but you are.
And that's why, like, after everything that we've been through, everything that's been happening, that's why I'm saying those who know me who have come into my lives, you guys know it's on my fireplace. And if it's on me, I'm in the dark. But I wanted to own my life and I wanted to own my story. And that's why I wanted you guys to be able to see my face today. And I'm facing you with a light in front of my face because I'm me. This is who I've become. I've set out to become what I became. I don't know. Wait.
There's nothing wrong with who you are. I really want you to understand, like, don't just listen to me say that, but hear the words and take them in, absorb them. There's nothing wrong with who you are. You're not a person that should be upset and carry the weight of the world on their shoulders because you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to blame yourself. You don't deserve to feel guilty. You did nothing wrong. And you've done a million times over everything you possibly could have to make up for anything you might have thought you did wrong. You've helped people that set out to destroy you. They destroyed who you were before you even knew what you wanted to be when you grow up. You didn't even know what you wanted to be for fucking Halloween or what you wanted for Christmas. And these people had you doing things that you never should have even heard being spoke of, let alone been doing.
No.
And they what? They want an apology from you? I'm sorry. If they fucking turned around and died tomorrow, I wouldn't care because I wouldn't fucking know because they mean nothing to me.
Oh my gosh, you sound like Chad.
How long did it take for you to be comfortable with your man, your hubby, your lovey-dovey?
Oh
for you and him to open up and be comfortable as a couple, because I know you carry the thoughts in your head.
Right away.
Yeah.
And without sharing his story, he has his own story. So in a sense, you know how I'm just going to say it. I don't like to think of it this way, but it is true, I believe. When people get to know each other and then it's all just surface stuff. Look, this is the surface stuff. Suddenly there comes a point where you go into the inside and you get a little deeper and you realize his trauma and your trauma and you kind of trauma bond.
Mm-hmm.
But thank God my trauma bond, he's so loving and respectful and kind and generous, matched my timidness, my shyness, my love for people. You get it? It wasn't an opposite where we're hurting one another. We both constantly try to lift one another. You know, like
you didn't trauma bond. You understood each other's traumas and difficulties.
Right, but I don't know what word to use because they say trauma bond, but then these people are rude to, they're cruel and they fight. But that's not us.
Is completely different.
Okay.
Trauma bond.
So then what is it? Understanding, in-depth,
understanding, passion. And because you knew his pain and his traumas and he knew yours,
you guys could listen to mine.
Were willing to be able to take that on, because taking on your own traumas and difficulties is very hard to deal with every day. And some people turn into junkies like myself. And I have spent more years a drug addict than I have spent clean. And I've been clean for 15 years. So there's that. I've spent more time of my life being a drug addict because I couldn't handle carrying my own shit.
Yeah, I drank a lot in the beginning.
So
I don't even know if I remember from age 19 to like 25. And then I ended up giving it up. I had to give it up because I was drinking in the morning and till at night. So I called myself a drunk. That's what I was like dealing with. I wouldn't say I could say alcoholic. I don't know what you all would call it, but it was like this nonstop drinking. I wanted to just.
You were thirsty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I was thirsty. So no, I did. I drank a lot. So
You-
from 19 to about 25 years old, I was a drunk.
So you numbed your pain, and
Yeah.
that's what.
I mean, I don't know what made me stop except the love of Chad.
You were ready.
We wanted a different life. We did not want to be. We didn't want to be dependent on it.
See,
We
you don't
we
have
figured
to
out.
be dependent on anything. The problem is that you always have that memory of it. It never goes away. And when you have hard times, there
Yeah.
comes.
You
I don't
want
know
to cover it.
how to handle this sober. I don't know how to handle this clean.
Yes.
I don't know how to handle this unless I'm high because I've never done this before. So it's always a new
Right.
experience. It never goes away and it doesn't get easier. The
Right. So
problem
the first
is
5
that-
years of our relationship, we were fighting the truth, and then we shared. And once we shared, we never separated. Do you get it? It never. Well, that's not true. We did separate for a minute, but it was
But
just like
so the difference between what you're thinking is a trauma bond and I don't, and now like there are people that are saying different in the chat and it's not a big deal. I mean, like, because it does all kind of go hand in hand, mesh together, I suppose. But I'm not saying it's a trauma bond because I know a trauma bond to be something very different. But some people know it to be different than I do. However, you guys,
we're dependent upon each other, but also independent.
but you took it in his information and you cared enough to understand. And he did the same for you. And because of that, you were both willing to help heal each other. That's not me what a trauma bond would be. To me, it was you had just an overwhelming compassion and love for each other because you saw the good and the light in each other and you knew that they deserved better.
I feel like we had the secret. We each had an inner secret we needed to share with someone. Do you get it? We each had an inner secret we had to share, and we shared it. But I didn't have the same trauma he had, and he didn't have my trauma. But so we're secret sharers.
No, you are comfortable enough to confide in each other. You're allowed. Supposed to. Matt was my best friend. He was my everything before we got together. And I lived across the country. I lived up in the fucking mountains, and because I turned 18 and I knew everything, and I hit the fucking road and went right up to the top of the mountains, and he stayed his ass right down here in Florida, and that's just fine. But we did get back together as friends. And how did we get together? Well, I mean, we talked a lot. I was his go-to. He was my go-to. I knew his problems. He knew mine. I knew his dirty little secrets. He knew mine. It's really, really hard to get to decide that you're going to be in a relationship with someone when you know each other's dirt and every last fucking itty bitty bit.
That's what I mean by trauma bonding. That's not what that means,
It's not a trauma bond. That's just us.
It's called a relationship? Shit.
Yeah. It's called loyalty and faith and understanding and caring enough to not put that person through what they've had 1,000 times before.
In all these years, we've maybe had a handful of disagreements. And what are you typing? Is somebody saying I'm ugly in there?
I am. No.
I
am responding to a comment, but my
Are you
computer.
gonna save the chat so I can read it later?
I have it on. I don't ever turn it off.
Oh, I didn't know. Because I would like to ponder on things that people have to say. Even if it's hurtful, I don't care. I just would like to.
I normally try to highlight every comment too, so it pops up on the screen. So even if the chat's off, 90% I hope are gonna pop up on the screen anyway. But saying is kind of agreeing with the trauma bond, and it's not that she's saying it in a negative way, and this is why, because.
Can you read it?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it as soon as my mouse goes off. It's just moving like really slow, backwards slow. Says it's
guilty.
like you can bond over the traumas that happened to someone you love that you also had to deal with the same stuff. So it's very true, I guess, in both ways. I think that I'm sure that I consider it something that it might not be. Maybe she considers it something it might not be. Who knows? At the end of the day, we mean the same thing. I mean, she just sees it as one way and I see it as another. That's why I always say, like, we're allowed to disagree. And if you disagree with me, tell me why, because you know what? You might take something at the end of the day.
Sorry, I know I'm fidgety, but it's my back. But do you, so I use the word trauma bond because I just learned it. And I thought that that's what, like, people who have both had a trauma. What's wrong?
The real definition of a trauma bond, I guess it doesn't have to be the real definition, but the definition that I know it to be, and a lot of other people do as well. It's when you bond with the person that has abused and hurt you. They've done it for so long. It's called a trauma bond. You're bonded with them because you know them, you know what to expect from them. You're afraid to leave them because at the end, the next person could be better than them, but they could be worse. So why am I going to leave you, even though you're horrible, if the next person could be 500 times worse? I know what I am. I know my life with you. I know what to expect. I know what it's going to be.
Oh, okay. So you know me and Chad, you know our relationship. You know it's not like that.
Yeah. You guys are not, I don't see you as a trauma bond. I see you more as like Matt and I. We just, you know each other. You've bonded. You've talked about everything. You were honest. And you were willing to take that person in with their damage because they're not actually damaged. They just have things that weigh them down like you do. And
well, that's why I thought it was. I'm sorry. I was wrong. You're right.
Stop apologizing. You're not wrong. You're right.
Chad's trauma was he found his mom dead in bed when he was 10 years old.
And that is a really horrible thing. I don't know.
So that's his trauma. So get it? He never told anybody the whole story about it. Now he has told many, many people. But in the beginning, he hadn't told people that he found her and that she was cold. And you know what I mean? And he was like, Mom. And
that's not okay. That's so terrible. Right. I would never, I have insomnia now. Could you imagine as a child being afraid to go to sleep? Or what happens if every time you close your eyes, that pops up in your head? This is something that is absolutely horrible for a child. And it probably haunts him to this day.
It does. It does. But he said, he told me, because I found Mom, remember? And I still cry out about it. But you know what he does? He holds me when I cry, and he goes, I promise you, baby, it'll get better. It'll get less and less.
It will.
And it does. It has gotten less and less.
As fast as we want at all. We want it to be like really, really fast and quick. Just make it better. Let me be okay. But
oh my God. If I could fast forward time for the healing, I totally would.
Would you?
I want to fast forward.
Pain, because if I need to see if I can still feel, because I get numb.
Oh yeah.
My feeling is when the pain is completely gone and I'm used to it 100%, because it doesn't get easier, it doesn't get better. We get used to it and we handle it differently, and it's just normal for us. Okay. So that's how they say it gets easier with time. No, it just is something that is a part of our everyday life and we have now become used to. And I don't like that, because then I feel as though I lost touch with the feelings or the emotions or the reality of the situation that I suffered a long time, because we're selfish. As humans, we're selfish. We don't mourn the loss of a person. We mourn our loss of them. We are selfish and we're crying because we have lost that person and they're never going to be back again. But that person is in a better place and they're okay. A lot of times they're suffering or whatever the case may be. It is what it is. But we are not crying because we feel bad for them. We're crying because we feel bad for ourselves. And when I stop feeling the emotions and the pain, I feel like I'm numb and I want to feel it. So I know I can still feel it. I know that I still love and have the emotion.
Yeah, that's like when, I mean, this is totally personal, but when you feel so dead for so long, when you actually feel the unconditional love of being held and intimate, I bawled at it. I cried. It was a joyful feeling of I can feel something different, and it was kind of scary, and I cried, you know, and that's just the way it is.
When you find yourself extremely emotional and you are crying for whatever the reason is, and you look at someone and you sigh and you find yourself saying, "Thank you for loving me."
I do it. Oh my God. I say that.
I have to thank you for your love. I should know that I'm worthy of it. Why am I thanking you?
He says it, but I thank him every day. I'm like, thank you for loving me. I say it all the time.
And so do I.
So weird. But well, that's like, remember I told you when we moved in this house, I thought I was getting it ready for a different wife because I certainly didn't deserve this. I certainly did not deserve a garden. I didn't deserve pretty things, and I didn't deserve all my favorite decorations. And I just was like, this is impossible. And I couldn't even grasp it. I don't think I even grasped it until this last April or May. And I think it was talking to you on the phone. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you told me how you felt.
Yep. And then once I said it, I was like, wait.
And a girlfriend that you didn't deserve to have all these wonderful things that your husband worked so hard for, that you didn't feel worthy of it. And
no, because he was giving it all to me. He gave me all he had. He gave me his whole whatever 401k to spend, and I did it. But remember, the thing that he said to me was, baby, I had no idea what you had planned for each room because it was so crazy. Everything I was ordering for different rooms. He said none of it made sense. He goes, but I gave you a house and you made it a home. Mm-hmm. And that was the most beautiful compliment I ever had in my life.
And you did. You did. And he is thankful and he loves you for every little thing you did. Remember when you accidentally doubled your grocery order and you were so worried because you weren't sure how the bills were going to be paid or if he was going to be upset?
I forgot to delete the items. Because I was picking an item, everybody, I was picking an item, and then I'd find it cheaper, a different item, but similar. But I forgot to go delete the expensive one.
I've done it. I think everybody can say they've done that. But what'd he say? We don't have to shop next week or next month or whatever. He said it's okay. Don't worry about it. It happens, right? Accidents happen.
Yeah, but I was like, thank God. Because
that is what we have to understand. Everybody deserves that it's okay. It's an accident. We all make accidents. No one is going to live their life accident free. But you still deal with the issue of not that you're afraid of him. You don't want to upset him or let him down or disappoint him.
I don't want to let him down because he never lets me down.
Exactly. And
when he goes to like pick up prescriptions, he surprises me. It's not even a surprise anymore. He goes to pick up the prescriptions and he brings me home my favorite, because it's like once a week. It'll be my favorite little espresso drink or the the creamy latte bottles or whatever they're called. I don't know.
Right.
Whatever. But the point is that he never lets me down. He comes through, and that's how he is with everybody. So I feel like I want to accentuate who he is, and I don't want to be less than. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be less than what he's expecting.
You don't want
it all stems from my prior trauma of not liking myself, hating myself. I'll never live up to a certain, but no, I will. Okay, I'm going to write the Post-its up. I promise. I will put them up in my bathroom. I will try it.
But you have to mean them. And if it's not I love myself, but it's I like myself because you mean I like myself, and then you up it to I love myself, because eventually you're gonna start to be like, fuck that. I love who I am. I do. I deserve to love myself. And you're gonna write it, and you're gonna eventually not only like feel it and mean it and believe it, but you're gonna actually like show it. Because why wouldn't you want to? You deserve to be loved, and you deserve to love yourself. So even if you don't 100% full-heartedly believe it at the moment you write it, you will eventually you'll mean it, and you will believe it.
Guess what's happening? My battery.
Remember when you showed me your house? You were showing me all the little things, that the decorations and the different things you did in each room, and how proud you were of the things that you did. Just you did it because you loved it, and your family helped you decorate, and your husband loved it and everything else. And it's beautiful. I told you it was beautiful from the time I saw it. And you didn't do it because it's beautiful. You did it because it was out of love, and that's what makes it beautiful.
No, you're such a. I always say you're too sweet to me.
I'm really just an asshole.
And then you always say that. So I just wanted to say to everybody, I am embarrassed now. So that's kind of coming over me a little bit now. Because once you have that release or whatever, you feel shame again. So I am feeling ashamed. I'm feeling a little embarrassed, but I do want you to know that I just want you to look out for your kids. I want you to look out for them and ask them questions. And you may not even, no one would ever have suspected. I never even suspected what was going on until I learned that there was a word for it. I never knew. I don't know how many of you heard the word grooming or knew that word until like maybe these last 7 years or so. Anyone? Maybe. But I never knew it.
Within the last 7 years, that's when you learned or were able to realize that's what they did.
That it's a word. Yep. And when
you think it was?
I just thought it was SA, like I thought it was abuse or molestation type thing. I thought it was that. I didn't know that. Get it though? But I know now, looking at it and seeing it play out, you can see that it was an escalation.
It was
to a goal.
Well, though, it wasn't just grooming. It was everything that you're saying and more.
It was an escalation to get to the final goal. And man.
So that there are people that have heard this and that will hear this that feel the same way you do and that have experienced the same things that you did and dealt with your entire life. And so how do you want to help them? Because if you can tell them something that you wish someone would have told you to help you, what would it be?
Talk about it sooner, because people will surprise you and they will not turn on you, and they will listen to you, and they will help you get through it. those emotions come and go, and you can block them all you want, but then they'll pop in. But start talking about it sooner. And if it's happened to you, reach out to Damaged Goods with No Regrets. She leaves her phone number all the time. You could come to my channel and we can talk about it. You can type to me. If you want it secret, contact Damaged Goods with No Regrets, and then she'll find a way for me to get in touch with you. But she can vet you first.
I always tell everybody, you do not have to have your camera on, just as I told you.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to be polite.
No,
why is this look dumb? Do I look bad?
I always leave my camera on, but it's what makes you comfortable. That's what.
Yeah, I'm holding it up with my arm. It's kind of hurting my neck,
So,
but
making it comfortable. But also, if you want to share your story, but you're not ready to say it yourself, I will be more than happy to read an anonymous email for you so that your story's still out there. You're still reaching and helping other people, and you are still lightening your load because you're getting it off your chest and your story's out there. And it's not going to be easy to hear, but at the end of the day, you will feel better.
Right.
You're a little embarrassed. Maybe it's because the people in here we all know very well, and we love and respect those people because this is our normal group. This is our family. But at the end of the day, who cares? They don't think any less of you, and neither do I. And there's people that are right now living with the same thoughts that you do, and they are thinking, and you don't even know it because they're not ready to come out and thank you yet, but they will. They will.
I want whoever's out there, if you feel like you want to talk, Noelle is such a good listener, 1. And 2, you will feel lighter after you share your story. It's not your load to carry. Somebody put that load on you. They handed you so many bags, and they get so heavy. And the good thing about having friends and this kind of an environment with people who really care is they're willing to take those bags and share the load with you. And pretty soon you'll feel like you're not carrying anything.
It happens. It takes time and work and people and love and support, but it happens.
Yeah.
So how do you want to carry us out? What's the name of that song? It's Fuck a Monetization. How many times have you heard me say that too?
Adele, and it's a million.
Okay.
It's got the word million in it. So it's Adele. It's her song, A Million or Million.
Okay, ready.
And it's how I feel.
I'm going to play it, remove us from the screen, and what? Do you want to hang out on here while we play it, or do you want to?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay. Well,
I'll jump off after it though. Or yeah.
What's the difference between a service
of course, there's that ad.
and an emotional support pet? Well, a service
Alrighty, so everyone, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I know that it was extremely hard for Dolly to do this, and she's been working a very long time to get here. It's never easy, not even for me to do these, but you know, at the end of the day, we have to be here for each other and everybody else. So thank you. And as always, I love you all very much. And I know, Jess. Thank you. When people are talking, I try not to talk over them. But I got it. Thank you very much. So yeah, thank you all. So have a great night, and you always will be a part of my YouTube family. And now, Dolly, I know you're out there hiding. I love you, and thank you for coming on with me tonight. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye, guys.